Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of
world.
millions of people.
You think
we're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
Remember when your parents told you the president was supposed to be a grown-up? Well, Trump just proved them wrong by throwing a full-on toddler tantrum in the freaking Oval Office. Red-faced and finger-pointing, our former president just couldn't handle being challenged by Ukraine's Zelensky. I mean, who needs diplomacy when you can just scream like you're fighting over the last cookie in the jar? Trump literally yelled at a world leader whose country is being invaded, then had the nerve to say Zelensky was the disrespectful one.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
Because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people.
It's like watching a kindergartner shove another kid and then cry, "But he looked at me funny." Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever notice how the most powerful men in the world sometimes act like they need a timeout? Well, grab your sippy cups, folks, because what went down in the Oval Office recently was less diplomatic summit and more daycare disaster. The historic Oval Office, once a symbol of American dignity where world-changing decisions were made, was transformed into a kindergarten playground with Trump playing his favorite role.
The destruction of your country.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
You bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent?
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
The kid who always has to be right? And boy, did he commit to the part. Trump didn't just disagree with Ukrainian President Zelensky during their meeting. He went full red-faced meltdown mode. Picture this. The former president pointing his finger like an angry substitute teacher, shouting, "You're not in a good position," while his loyal sidekick, J.D. Vance, nodded along, basically repeating whatever his playground buddy said. It was like watching the school bully and his yes-man corner the new kid by the monkey bars.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this.
This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, 300.
The absurdity reached new heights when Trump actually complained that Zelensky wasn't saying thank you enough times. I mean, seriously? Was he keeping a gratitude tally? That's only 4 thank yous, Zelensky? I need at least 7 before I'll consider helping your country not get obliterated. It's like a toddler counting how many times someone said they liked his finger painting before deciding if they get a turn with his toys. But this wasn't just Trump being his usual charming self. Behind the childish behavior was actually a negotiation tactic gone horribly wrong. Trump was trying to pressure Ukraine into giving up valuable mineral rights without offering security guarantees in return. It was basically the geopolitical version of, give me your lunch money, and maybe I'll think about not letting the other kids beat you up. The diplomatic disaster got even worse when Trump told Zelensky, you don't have the cards, and you're not winning. Way to keep America's negotiating position secret there, Donnie? He might as well have sent Putin a text message saying, hey Vlad, they're desperate. Now's the time to squeeze them harder. Nothing says master negotiator like revealing your ally's weakness to their enemy on live television. Not to be outdone in the tantrum department, JD Vance jumped in with his own little fit, accusing Zelensky of going on propaganda tours and demanding more gratitude. Let's get this straight. Zelensky's country is literally being invaded, his people are dying, and Vance is upset about his thank you notes? That's like blaming someone for not sending a proper thank you card while their house is on fire. I know your living room is currently exploding, but your gratitude seems a bit lackluster. The tension hit boiling point when Zelensky warned that America might feel it in the future if Ukraine falls, only to have Trump snap back, don't tell us what we're going to feel. It was the diplomatic equivalent of, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Next thing you know, Trump would be sticking out his tongue and putting his fingers in his ears going, la la la, can't hear you. What really got Trump's face turning tomato red wasn't just being contradicted, it was being outmaneuvered. Zelensky refused to hand over Ukraine's valuable mineral resources without getting security guarantees in return. Trump wasn't engaging in diplomacy. He was attempting a shakedown that failed spectacularly. And like any spoiled child, when he didn't get his way, the tantrums intensified. And just when you thought this international embarrassment couldn't get more childish, Trump later posted on Truth Social that Zelensky could come back when he is ready for peace, basically sending a world leader to the corner for a timeout. What's next? Making foreign dignitaries sit at the kids' table if they don't agree with him? Perhaps a diplomatic dunce cap for those who refuse to bow to his demands? But let's be real, the biggest casualty of Trump's Oval Office tantrum isn't just our national dignity, it's our entire international strategy. National security experts are freaking out because Trump and his mini-me Vance basically gift-wrapped America's negotiation weaknesses and handed them to Putin with a bow on top. It's like watching someone play poker while loudly announcing what cards they're holding. This diplomatic disaster doesn't just hurt Ukraine, it damages the trust of every ally stupid enough to still believe America keeps its promises. So, next time your kid throws a fit in the grocery store, just tell them they're practicing their presidential skills? In the meantime, the only thing Trump secured was his reputation as the world's oldest toddler. And in Trump's daycare version of America, the only ones getting security are his pals. Everyone else just gets a sippy cup full of empty promises.